Hey love, it's Angelica, aka Angie B. Welcome back if you are new. If you don't know me, my name is Angelica. I post a bunch of videos about growing your natural hair long and strong. That is my passion, to help you grow long, healthy, natural hair. Also, I do a little bit of skincare and makeup when requested here and there. But if you want to see more of that, you can follow me on my Instagram right here. It is Angie B with 3 underscores, and I post a lot of content that you won't see on this channel. You can also follow me on TikTok with the same name. In this video, we are going to be talking about how to grow out your nape, which is a huge problem area for a lot of people. It's been a problem area for me in the past, but I got a handle on it and it hasn't been a problem for me for years. So I'm going to show you exactly how you can grow your nape out, not only grow it out, but keep long, healthy hair on your nape. If you'd like to see what my nape looks like, I'll insert a video clip right here so you guys can see what my nape looks like right now. From the front, I can show you, you can literally see this is the very back of my hair. And this is how long it is. Let me try and hold some hair back, but you guys can see that. So I'll be sharing with you 5 tips that you can implement to make sure that you have long, healthy hair on your nape. And let's get straight into the first one. So first of all, most people have a problem area on their heads. If your nape is your problem area, it means you are doing something wrong. You might be neglecting it. You might be doing something wrong. The first thing you can do to try and rectify the problem is to make sure you apply enough deep conditioner from the tips all the way to the roots at your nape area. Now, if you happen to be one of those people who has almost no hair, like it's extremely like less than an inch short at the nape where all your hair is basically out, you still want to slather that part in deep conditioner because you want the hair to be extremely hydrated and conditioned, because any weak points in the hair can cause breakage and you make the hair just stay the same length forever. The next tip is, if you do protective styles, which I actually advise to grow all your hair out in general, but also to grow your nape out. So if you use protective styles, specifically ones like cornrows and twists and braids, you need to make adjustments for your nape. Now, this depends on how long the hair is at the back of your head. If you have extremely short hair, like less than 2 inches, I would suggest when you do cornrows, let the braid sit above the area, however big it is, whether it's this thick or just like a really thin line of hair that keeps breaking. Leave that part out of the braid. If you force it into the braid, you're already making the ends break off. You're also pulling at the roots, so it's damaging your hair follicles. So just leave that part out. Wherever your problem area with your nape is, let the braids end there. Then also, if you do cornrows, don't do the hairstyle where basically, let me turn like this. If your braids are down like this, don't tie your hair and like flip it up hard like this, because you guys can see my nape is very full. If you do this, you kind of pull the back strands of your nape here, and if your hair is already weak there, then you're just promoting more breakage. So you just want to leave your braids down. You can also do that one single braid across, like with the back of your braids, very loosely, if you don't want your braids to just like hang down straight. And then this is a tip I actually see a lot, which I highly advise against. I used to do this with my edges and also with my nape when I was relaxed, when I had a problem with this area, and it actually doesn't work. A lot of people advise that you section off the back hair and then like moisturize it and then braid it into like one single cornrow across the back of your neck so that it's not getting disturbed. However, sometimes cornrows, especially if you don't know how to braid very loose cornrows, it can actually damage your hair if you continue to braid that off, and it might continue breaking in the same section. It might manage to grow a little bit longer than usual, but the hair will still be maybe thin and a little bit weaker than the rest of your hair, and eventually you will end with the same problem. I suggest, if you want to do that technique, try and do a loose twist across the back, or just leave the hair out by itself so that you can have access to it all the time. Another thing is, if you happen to wear wigs or weaves, when you do your cornrows, don't fold them up and then sew the hair onto your head. First of all, sewing can actually damage your hair. It can continuously break follicles or hairs in various places in your hair. But also, it's the same thing like flipping your hair up. If your ends are flipped up and then sewn down, it can actually cause friction and just a little bit of tugging at the bottom of your hair, and that can continue ripping out your nape. The third tip is if you wear head wraps as a protective style, which I highly advise, especially if you have problems with your nape. If your hair is in a protective style, it will not only be moisturized for a longer time, it will also be away from the elements and your ends won't be affected. Now, if you use this head wrap as a protective style, please wear a satin bonnet or scarf inside your scarf, because there's a high chance that most nice materials for head wraps and head wraps that are easy to do in whatever style you want, they're usually made out of cotton or just any other kind of fabric that can absorb all the moisture from your hair, and it can cause more dryness. So always wear a satin scarf or a silk scarf or bonnet underneath your head wrap. And then secondly, do not make your head wrap too tight, because it will be rubbing against your edges and your nape. And I don't know if you've ever seen this issue. I'm not sure if other countries see this, but I think in a lot of African countries, you see that a lot of babies have like a line of hair, like a patch in the middle of their head where there's hardly any hair. And that comes from like when the mom puts the baby on the back in like it's called a chitenge in my language. Don't know what it's called in other languages. Actually, very similar words, but it's basically like that, classic African fabric. And when they tie the baby, like they carry the baby on the back, the part where it's like on the baby's head in the middle, there's like a line of hair where there's almost no hair, because every time the baby is being carried on the back, there's friction from the cloth there. It is the same thing you can do to yourself with a head wrap, even though your hair is stronger than a child's hair. Of course, additional friction on a consistent basis can actually rip out your hair and can damage your hair follicles, and your nape will not only be stunted with the growth, but when the hair grows, it will still be breaking off. Now, tip number 4 is a very important one, and this is section off your damaged hair and treat it by itself. So I'm not saying don't do everything you're doing to the rest of your hair to this part. I'm just saying do it with more concentration in this area. So let's say you're moisturizing your hair or you're deep conditioning your hair. I would suggest you do however you do the sections of the rest of your hair, whether you divide it into 4 or whatever, you can go ahead and do that. But once you reach the back, however thick the damaged hair at your nape is, whether it's like from this part or just a little line, section that hair off. Make sure it is slathered in deep conditioner. When you're doing your moisturizing and sealing, moisturize that part by itself. Even when you're detangling your hair, section that hair off and detangle it very gently by itself. Even if it is very short, it will make a huge difference. I know most people just think like, oh, the hair is short, so I'm just gonna like comb through and just get it done, get it out of the way. No, that will highly affect your hair. Section it and do everything by itself. When it comes to shampoo, it's not really a big deal because the hair is shorter anyway. But when it comes to deep conditioning, moisturizing steps, even braiding, make sure that you section it out by itself so you can treat the problem separately. The 5th tip is another one that is very highly beneficial, and this is scalp massages. Even if you don't want to massage your entire head, just massage your nape, and this will promote blood flow going to your scalp. You can do this every single day. You can do it every other day, and make sure you don't rub against your skin. Do a proper scalp massage. That's just the pads of your fingers on your hair like this, and do a light massage like that on your nape. So you can just do it like this. You can do it while you're watching TV. You can even just do a 5-minute scalp massage every single day. You don't have to add oil every single day, but I would advise that you add oil at least once or twice a week. And the specific oils I suggest you add are whatever carrier oil you want. So whatever works great in your hair. If it's avocado oil, olive oil, choose whatever carrier oil you want, and then mix in a couple of drops of tea tree oil and peppermint oil, because tea tree oil is antibacterial, so it's going to prevent dandruff and itching, and the peppermint oil adds a very good tingling sensation to your scalp, which promotes blood flow to that area, and it stimulates your scalp and stimulates hair growth. So that combined with the scalp massages will give you amazing results. This is what my oil mix looks like, what I usually use, and this has a little bit of almond oil, olive oil, peppermint oil, tea tree oil, and a couple drops of rosemary oil, I believe. But you can use whatever mix you like I said, but I highly suggest using peppermint and tea tree. If you only have one of those, even one of them is fine, but both would be better. If you're enjoying this video so far, give this video a big thumbs up. Also hit my face right there if you didn't subscribe in the beginning. Also here you can find my other channel where I give YouTube tips, just if you want to start a YouTube channel, and also watch the 2 videos on the side of the screen right here if you'd like to see any of my older videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.